Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 my driver career mode. Episode number 5 today for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix here in season 1 in our Road to Glory career. Remember, in this career mode we're trying to become champions in one season in the worst car, which was the Tauri. It is no longer the worst car though. If you remember, we had a huge upgrade package in for Miami, which meant that we were leading the race for a couple laps until, unfortunately, our engine failed us. So we got our mechanical failure reward, which is a bit of a consolation, 480 R&D points. It was our internal combustion engine that failed, if you remember, so we're going to take a penalty for that. I can't believe it failed because we newly put it in after our Australia loss of power due to the upgrade, due to the wear. Sergio Perez leads the way after a back-to-back wins from Australia to Miami. Sainz, who was originally leading the championship, now only in second, followed by Russell in third, Leclerc fourth, Verstappen fifth. Tsunoda gets to ninth last time in Miami to finish 2 points, and we're now in seventh in the constructors still. But I hope to change that today because even though we don't have that many upgrades, we have a chance for a good result. So for the first time, we're gonna actually change our tire allocation to softer, so we have more tires for for qualifying, so we can have two runs in each session, except for Q3, where we are gonna save some tires for the race. I hope. First of all, though, some R&D to spend if we have anything to spend it on, and unfortunately for us, we don't. So we're gonna not buy anything. I thought about buying the fuel efficiency, but decided overall it won't really improve. But our ERS upgrade comes in, and immediately we're gonna upgrade this rotor speed for more increased ERS. We've also got that gearbox upgrade coming in. Remember, we invested in that gearbox durability. The only durability gearbox we've invested that succeeds as well, which is nice. So I look at anything else that we might want to buy. We can't buy anything on the chassis or aero side of things. The powertrain, I don't really want to buy the fuel efficiency. I'm not a fuel efficiency fan. And obviously on the durability, I thought about buying the internal combustion engine after that last time out, but decided to cancel the upgrade because it's not really any point. Now let's go into the race weekend. First things first, obviously we will be doing quick practice. So we're gonna do that now. Remember, we are in a rivalry with Ocon, which we need to beat. Still fourth fastest. Small upgrade for us, but not enough to catch up to Mercedes, Ferrari or Aston. Very jumbled up in the midfield. Now let's do our quick practice. Completed that. Let's head to qualifying after we see if there are any upgrades we can buy. I decide to buy the fuel efficiency here because I think that it will still improve our car, maybe less weight, and we've got the R&D to spend, so why not? So I purchased that. Nothing else really we can do on anything else for the aero or chassis. Hopefully when those upgrades come in, we can buy something more. So now let's head into qualifying. First lap then here in Q1. We want this to be our only run in Q1. We want to save a set for the race, remember. So we are going to only do one run in this lap. On the whole, not too bad. There's time to find for sure. but we're not going to find it because this is going to be our only run. So up to the line, it's going to be a 1:16.625, and that's enough for P3 at the moment, ahead of both Red Bulls, which I was very surprised about. So we're going to leave it at that for our only run. And Tsunoda was down in P17. He improves to P11, but have we made it through into Q2? We just, by the skin of our teeth, by 4/1000ths of a second, we do make it, 400ths of a second, we do make it through. Albon out, both Hasses, Sargent and Valtteri Bottas, which is good for us, so we're not knocked out. Tsunoda in P11, so we're both through to Q2. Norris impressing in the McLaren. That's now in Q2. Stroll ahead of us. And we're going to see how good our lap is by comparing how far away we are from Stroll. Now, I personally thought this lap was faster than Stroll's. Hopefully, because we get a bit of slipstream and just gain on him a bit. But it determines, in the end, we're actually slower than Stroll. I'm not sure by how much, but as you can see immediately, a bit of time to find there. But we're not going to go again because no point. And here, watch what I do to the ERS. We slow down to let Stroll pass and we switch it to none. Now that is key. We go back out on another set of soft tyres. Max Verstappen currently fastest with a 1:15. Both of us, Tsunoda and me, in the elimination zone. Lance Stroll a bit faster than us. But here we go then for our last flying lap. But what I forgot to do was put the ERS back on a hot lap. I didn't realise this until I was near the end of this straight. So look how much time we lost. 1/10 already. And by the time we realise, it's actually 2/10. And that's huge, because we need to find about 2/10. So we're going to have to find much more time. Luckily for us, these tyres are new. And, well, this lap has to count. Overall, not a awful first sector. Found most of the time. And even if we go into the negative in terms of the delta, in the middle of sector 2, go a bit off track there. We lose some time as a thanks for it, and we're really pushing. Then Joe, I think he locked up, and we get a bit of a slipstream off him, but we gain so much time in those last 2 corners. We're only about 0.5 up. In these last 2 corners, we gain a 2/10. Tsunoda looks like he's out of qualifying. We still have a lap to put in. Up to the line, purple last sector, and it's going to be enough for P10. Now, I was shocked by this. Not only did we knock out Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, but we also managed to sneak through despite being 2/10 down in turn 1. Our last sector really, really strong then. Tsunoda out of qualifying, but I was shocked by this result. Absolutely flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. You can see I'm just barely moving the mouse for about 5 seconds. Stunned that we made it through. I thought we were out for sure. But remember, we probably will be starting behind Verstappen as we do have our grid penalty. Q3 then. This is our first lap on used tyres because I want to go out at the end on new tyres. Maybe when the track's a bit more rubbered in. But this lap overall, not the worst. And we want to save a set of tyres for the race. That's why we're not going out on new now. Quite a good lap, I thought, for these tyres. P7, time to find them immediately, as you can see. So by the end of qualifying, we're in P9 for sure. Everyone else has crossed the line but us. We've got a bit of traffic, though, to nav our way through. And this lap, it's been okay. It's been pretty decent. The sun came out, but maybe we could find a bit more time. I think we could have. But 3/10, I'll take that. Up to the line. It's going to be good enough for P8 on the grid. I believe that's just behind Fernando Alonso by a couple thousandths, I think. Yeah, 4 thousandths. So we have qualified Ocon, then our rival. Norris ahead of Norris, who had strong pace. Gasly impressing in P6 for the Alpine. Now let's head into the race for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
Welcome to Imola, the spiritual home of Ferrari. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just look at the red-clad Tifosi in the grandstands. They're ready. Are you ready? For the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula 1 tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit, and it's only DRS zone. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, and Alpha Tauri, Norris, Ocon, Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Tsunoda, Joe, Bottas, Sargent, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the Grand Prix. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way that you approach those roles?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. They're two very different mindsets. In the old days, of course, they used to cover up to 15,000 kilometres of testing in a season, and that role would be more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as possible, so that the data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When lining up on the grid for a race, however, a race driver's frame of mind is all about what they can get out of the situation on that day, and the car is the tool to help them achieve those goals.
Okay, as you know, this is the team's home race, which means it's extra important for everybody in this team. They've got friends here, they've got family here, they're all in the grandstands watching, so let's go and put on a good show for them.
Okay, that's a bit pressurising, Mark. I completely forgot it was our home race, to be honest. Sorry, AlphaTauri, I did. But if you'll notice on the grid order, we did not take our penalty. We've got the new internal combustion engine, I believe, but we did not take our penalty. Everyone around us starting on the mediums and Alonso's case, the hards. We're starting on the softs, though, because we actually saved a set for the race. Let's see what we can do then. Formation up first, though. I want to get some heat into these tyres.
Okay, how was that pull away?
So now, lining up to the grid. Do a couple burnouts just before because I got bored. P8 then. Norris right on our back. Alonso ahead of us on the hards. Hopefully we can get a couple positions on these softs starting fast. Okay then, and when we line up on this grid, we do it very aggressively, and we get 0.1, the best possible we can do.
Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding track.
Here we go then, 5 red lights, cut mark off there for the Imola Grand Prix. Here in AlphaTauri, starting P8, lights out, and away we go. We get a cracking start compared to Alonso, a lot better one than Gasly as well. On the mediums, these soft tyres paying dividends immediately. Is now into turn 1 we go, get boxed in a bit behind Sainz and Hamilton. Get a warning for a collision with Russell. We've overtaken him up into P5. As now Hamilton gets caught up and we overtake him as well. And up into P4. Fantastic start from us from P8. 4 positions gained. So now we need to focus on keeping this position and defending from the faster cars behind us. Norris also with a great start up into P6 from P9. But for us, it's a dream start in our team's home race. Hamilton, though, already pressuring us. And at the end of lap 3, DRS enabled, the last lap he gets the chance, but no one's actually used DRS yet because we haven't had a DRS zone. Hamilton though unwisely overtook us before the DRS zone, so we have the DRS. So we're gonna have that, and that's really gonna help us. But despite that, Hamilton still flies past us. We're gonna go right back around the outside though, a bit of ERS used, and retain P4. That's good for us. Russell also overtakes Hamilton. He's got squeezed a bit, and without DRS, it's hopeless. So now Russell overtakes us at the end of the following lap. We squeeze him out, but this time we do not have the DRS to defend ourselves. We're going to have to use our engine power with our with the best engine on the grid and as much ERS as we can. I think it's a good thing we got that ERS upgrade. It's 3 wide into turn 1. We break the latest, and Russell just gets pinched a bit. Hamilton round the outside. Russell's lost the position to Norris as well. As now Verstappen overtakes him as well. Hamilton now in P5. Verstappen in P6 from P11, remember, after his shock and our shock lap there. The end of lap 5. Here we go. Lewis Hamilton going through the move. Verstappen flies by us. Flies by Hamilton as well. Nothing anyone can do about that. Just superior speed. We dive back down the inside of Hamilton. Go very deep there on the curb. Hope our underbody's okay. But Verstappen is just on another level. His car, it's like Crofty, what he said in Saudi Arabia. F1 versus F2. Okay, then at the end of lap 6, Hamilton pressurising us, harrying us to make a mistake. We keep calm in the cockpit. This could be our best result of the season so far. Hamilton, though, with DRS 1/10 behind us, going to go for the move. As we start lap 7, we squeeze him to the inside, using as much ERS as we dare, because we want to keep some. Go back round the outside, and somehow keep the position. And luckily for us, Hamilton and Russell start fighting. And that means that Hamilton does not have DRS on us, which is crucial because that means we do not have to deploy any ERS, which means that we can save up more for the next assault by Hamilton. So our pit window is this lap, but I decide to stay out for this lap. I don't feel like I really want to pit. I want my mediums when I pit to them to be as new as possible, as Hamilton still, without DRS, does go for the move there. Fair play, but we don't have to use any ERS, and that was the key point, and we squeeze Hamilton out so much that Russell overtakes him. So now, through this nice left-hander, we decide not to pit at the end of lap 8, but pit at lap 9. Into the pits, and everyone goes past us, so we're now in P20. Our tyre's a bit worn. Looks like we've got a bit of front wing damage as well, which is unfortunate. As we box, good stop from the crew, 2.3.
Okay, let's go now. Come on. Perfect job from you.
Hopefully now we can undercut Russell and Hamilton. That's crucial for our race, that we stay ahead of them, because I reckon I can defend from them, because they'll probably be going onto the hard tyres. So we need to keep these tyres fairly at a reasonable wear level, but still we want to keep them competitive and push with them. So as we do push with them, as Piastri comes out the pit lane ahead of a bunch of other cars, I think that was the other soft runners, we come out 3 seconds ahead of Piastri, which hopefully is good enough to come out ahead of the Mercedes, and we set a new personal best lap time at the end of lap 12 and come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who, as I said, has gone onto the hard tyres. Piastri and Stroll also overtake Hamilton. Now I'm 23 seconds behind Russell now, which should be good enough, as it's around a 29-second pit loss. So these new mediums are performing a lot better than Russell's old ones. By the end of that lap, it's a good lap from us, and we do undercut Russell by a lot. Verstappen, I'm surprised, however, he went on the softs for the end. And the end of lap 14, Piastri, we haven't been able to pull away from him, which I found surprising, seeing as we're in a quicker car. Goes for the move on us with DRS. We squeeze him out. And I don't particularly want to fight with Piastri, but I do want to keep the position because that means Russell will come back at us and possibly overtake us in a much quicker car than both me and Oscar.
Here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by 16.4 seconds.
It's pretty nice that
Caution,
Mark thinks we can
virtual safety
overtake
cars out, reduce speed and maintain a positive delta on your dash.
Verstappen, but virtual safety car then. Piastri's still trying to overtake me. I'm not sure why, but I went a bit too slow here. Not on the grass, a bit too slow. We had 3 seconds of delta and we actually had to push here because the virtual safety car ended very quickly. I believe that was Lance Stroll out the race. It was an Aston Martin. So I think it was Stroll, yeah. So we push and we still have 8 tenths in hand on the delta, and we jumped Piastri by 7 tenths, but DRS now already enabled. Right at the DRS turn, which was a bit frustrating because the safety car stayed out for a bit longer. He wouldn't have got DRS, but he's right there on our tail and flies past us. If we weren't using our ERS, he was gaining us so much with slipstream. The moment he pulled out, he slowed down so much. It's now we are going to defend on the inside. Lap 15, now by lap 17, our fighting with Oscar has allowed Russell to catch up to us, which is not good. Piastri goes for the move. That's his last attempt to overtake us, I would think. But we have ERS. Russell tries to go to the right with some slipstream. We dive back down the inside of Piastri, force him wide, and that's why I said it was his last chance to overtake, because we squeeze him out so much that Russell overtakes him, and they fight all through this sector. I was very surprised how long they went on for, and to the start of sector 2. So much so that we actually break DRS for a bit. Still going for it. This is for P6, so this would be Oscar's best result of the season. And Russell, well, he needs these points to stay in P3 in the championship. But Russell does overtake Piastri, as is expected, and now goes for the move on us. Lap 20, and this is still an absolute titanic battle between me and Russell. We squeeze him. Hamilton now caught up to the back of Russell as well, who also overtaken Piastri. But here, we have to just stay ahead. We do get DRS of him the next straight on Hamilton. We go deep into the corner. Once again, squeeze Hamilton out. Ocon now has overtaken Russell. I was very surprised at this. You can probably tell by my voice. In an Alpine that really shouldn't be even near the Mercedes. Now he's going for the move on Hamilton. As now Hamilton tries to dive down the inside. It's a defensive move. He gets the elbows out. He's on the inside. He's overtaken us, but we go on the outside, get a much better exit. Still on the outside, going around the outside and keep the position on Lewis. Russell re-overtakes Ocon. Ocon clearly tried to go very wide, following us through, but couldn't do it and got compromised his own line. It's now end of lap, starting the last lap of the race. Here we get DRS. It's absolute titanic scrap here with me, Hamilton, and Russell and Ocon. As Ocon overtakes both of us, following our line. As now Perez wins the race for Red Bull. Another win for him. His third in a row and extends his lead in the championship. But for us, there's still P5 to scrap for. Hamilton re-overtakes Ocon. But Ocon now re-overtakes Hamilton. They're going side by side. Hamilton on the inside. Can't squeeze him out enough. So now Ocon has this double right-hander to try and overtake on us. All the tyres are really screaming out now. Go over those bumps after the curb. But we do, and then we go out off the track again. So these tyres clearly not happy. But we are going to come through for P5, which is an absolutely fantastic result for us. Our best of the season in our team's home race. A really, really good result for us. Ocon beats both Mercedes to P6.
Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
gave them the edge over the competition.
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they secured here. Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. A result that will make Sergio Perez happy as he pushes his championship lead out even further. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, there was a lot of incredible driving out there today, but if I had to pick someone, it's got to be Sergio Perez. Fantastic driving.
Let's move on to the constructors. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So P5 finished for us, fantastic. Tsunoda P13. I'm surprised that Alonso lost 7 positions. Piastri also doing really well. Both Mercedes should be disappointed as well. Piastri actually finished ahead of Russell. Yeah, it was Stroll who DNF'd. I'm not sure when Joe DNF'd. Probably, I actually have no idea. Didn't come up for anyway. But Perez wins, and in the standings now is ahead by quite a margin. And thank you everyone so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, do like and subscribe. It helps out so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.